if I don't know if you guys been paying attention when I talk about politics a lot, or other black YouTubers or other sites, and we often say that as black people we shouldn't align ourselves with one particular group because both parties and their members don't really give a damn about us or our feelings. Here it is. I've seen young white Democrats and young white conservatives get out here, or Hindu or Asian get out and give their opinions about politics and life in general, as if blacks doesn't exist. I'm waiting to see a black man or black woman. And I ain't talking about somebody in mixed ethnicity. I'm talking about a black man and black woman who's not afraid to say how they see things on these networks, local, national, or cable. And the reason being is because a lot of distortions and lies have been pushed, and a lot of fucked up ideologies have been pushed off on us. And the reason why I bring this up is because excuse me, I was watching this clip. I heard about the reporter getting Joe Williams. I didn't think nothing about it until I came across this video and really heard the opinions from it. And he was on Martin Bashir. Martin Bashir is the guy that fucked up Michael Jackson's life. I still say he had a large part in Michael Jackson's demise, but I'll talk about that another time. There's a show on MSNBC that comes on 2 o'clock excuse me, Central. Sorry about that. And he asked this reporter opinion about Mitt Romney, about his being awkward and stiff. And some people were talking about, when he goes on Fox, he's not awkward and stiff. And he said with certain groups, he's not awkward and stiff. And the brother gave an honest assessment about Mitt Romney not being comfortable around, he only not being around people of color or being around people that's only white. So the white guy in the middle was supposed to be, I guess, liberal, took offense to it. And then Cenk Uygur, he changed his tune. And I bring this up is because Cenk Uygur, I forget his ethnicity, but I know he's a person of color. And if you don't know who Cenk Uygur is, this guy right here. He's badmouth President Obama. He's badmouth black politicians. He's badmouth Reverend Jackson, Reverend Sharpton, Minister Farrakhan, Reverend Wright. But yet he wants to be able to speak his mind. But yet, when it comes down to blacks locked up, he says some of the most insensitive and stupid ass things. And I keep telling our brothers and sisters out here that other people of color, or these other greed groups, use us to get ahead. And then they get ahead, they think they're part of the white community. So the guy in the middle is basically saying what the brother said was stupid. He was giving this assessment like so many other reporters or commentators or guests do on television. But it seems to me when a black man says something, or a black woman, but usually a black man says something, oh, you got it wrong. Race is not involved. Now, mind you, none of these people on here, well, let me say this. He's not a black man. She's not a black woman. He's a person of color, but they redefine. They don't look at themselves as part of the family. And I know that black people out here don't think that, but they come from us. But for shits and giggles, he thinks of himself as a white man or in this category with him. So anyways, they're all giving their opinion. And the white woman is basically saying she think what they did to him was wrong. And it's sort of what make me go back to what they did to Roland Martin. Roland Martin was Twittering to Piers Morgan and saying nothing about the gay community, but CNN suspended him. When you have white reporters, white commentators, white guests, and white politicians say some of the most asinine, hateful, and racist things. Now the brother said, Mitt Romney is uncomfortable. He is. And I guess this motherfucker and so many others forget what was going on during the primary. It's been what's said since the moment Mr. Obama ran. Now, when a black man speaks truth to power, he gets vilified and gets attacked. A lot of times for people who do not identify themselves as being black, and unfortunately from our own. And we all know those people out here on YouTube that does that, right? Well, I'm watching this guy and I'm sitting there saying, you know what? How dare you tell this black man that his observations are wrong? How dare you tell a black man that we get racism wrong and we experience it from the time we can crawl, walk, and talk until the time we leave this planet? But I want to play this clip for you. And I want you guys to really listen to this, okay? And listen to the words he used. And I finish my commentary after, okay?
Joe Williams is from Politico. He's a writer. Now, I'm a little biased here. I know him a little bit. I think he's a good guy. He was just on our current show, The Young Turks, at 7 o'clock Eastern, just a couple of days ago. But he was on with MSNBC with Martin Bashir, and he said something that Politico thought was out of bounds and have suspended him. So what was it? Let's watch.
It's very interesting that he does so many appearances on Fox and Friends, and it's unscripted. It's the only time they let him off the leash, so to speak. But it also points out a larger problem that he's got to solve if he wants to be successful come this fall. Romney is very, very comfortable, it seems, with people who are like him. That's one of the reasons why he seems so stiff and awkward in some town hall settings, why he can't relate to people other than that. But when he comes on Fox and Friends, they're like him. They're white folks who are very much relaxed in their own company. So it really is a very stark contrast, I think, and a problem that he has not been able to solve to date, and that he's going to have to work harder if he's going to try to compete.
So Politico is supposed to be neutral, and so Joe's analysis of Mitt Romney was spot on, except he said the word white in the context of
I don't even know if the analysis was spot on, because the part of his analysis was that he's uncomfortable in town halls because he's around people who are not like him. And I would say that you could make an argument that he's uncomfortable in town halls the way a lot of people are uncomfortable in town halls. Like, the questions are more spontaneous. He's more comfortable in a scripted environment. He's more comfortable not being challenged. He's making a leap that's because the people are white, which actually is, the more I think about it, a pretty big leap.
No, he's saying in a town hall they might not be white.
I'm saying he's more comfortable around it, because the reason why he's more comfortable, I'm saying, when it's a scripted environment and that he knows the question he's going to get.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the reality is that it doesn't have to do with race nearly as much as it does that he knows that Fox News is friendly territory. So they're going to give him softballs. He's going to knock it out of the park. Whereas when it's in a town hall, they might actually ask a tougher, challenging question, and he would make mistakes like saying, corporations are people, my friend.
Don't you think that if Juan Williams were one of the panelists on Fox, I think Mitt is equally as comfortable. I don't. Yeah. So that's why I think.
So no, but I meant his analysis that Mitt Romney is much more comfortable on Fox News as opposed to town hall events was spot on. But I see what you're saying about the other thing. Now, and I didn't think that he had to go racial there. I'm not even sure, as we're saying, that we agree with his racial. So the question, though, is should he have been suspended for it? Right.
No.
So you think no?
No. He was invited on Martin Bashir's program to share his opinion. His opinions might not be spot on or correct every single time, but that's his opinion, that's what he thinks, and that's what he was sharing. So should Politico suspend him for that? Absolutely not. Unless Politico has a policy that specifically states you're not allowed to go on network news and share your opinion.
I believed, I've changed my mind a little bit during the course of the day, because I think the comments were really foolish. And I think that it probably, I don't know how it worked backstage at Politico. I would like to think that their first thought was, Joe, you need to apologize, and you need to not talk this way again. Bringing the race into it, I mean, he just essentially said that Mitt Romney is only really truly comfortable around other white people, which is a silly thing to say for a guy.
How long did it take for his church to allow people that are not white to go to their church?
Mormon church?
The Mormon church, right.
I don't know, like 40, 50 years ago, something like that?
No.
40 years?
Yeah, 1978.
Yeah, 40 years ago.
Yeah, and Mitt Romney, and we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
34 years,
that Stanford
nuts.
wouldn't play games with his BYU because BYU discriminated against black people. He's like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, that's what I'm
but that's
saying,
an old story, right? And it's not in context of this story. And so I don't agree. He shouldn't have brought white in. I don't think that it's. He didn't have a basis for making it about race, right? I think he had a basis for making it about Fox News versus town halls, etc.
Him being challenged, he's not. He goes where he's comfortable.
Right. Now that being said, okay, I disagree with him, but I'm partial to what Anna is saying. So how much are you supposed to be muted about your actual opinions? If that's Joe's actual opinion and that's part of his analysis, well, okay. So that's why. And once again, I'm somewhere between you guys.
I'm just uncomfortable with any organization, whether it be a news organization or something else, censoring what you say. If that's really your belief and you want to share your belief on an opinion show, then that's totally. I think it's fine, unless you have a policy saying don't share your opinions because it'll reflect poorly on Politico.
But Politico gets to say, yeah, share your opinions, share them honestly, share them openly. If you bring some degree of humiliation and embarrassment to Politico, then.
But where's the are they really embarrassed or humiliated? I feel like Politico got attacked by a third party, and as a result, they're like, okay, let us cave to what they're saying.
If that happened, then and there is reason
well,
to believe.
look, again, the answer's somewhere in the middle. I mean, I'm sure they were attacked by the right wing, and I'm sure that they that their main thing is, I want to be neutral, so that this doesn't seem neutral, so they panicked, and it's about a touchy racial issue, so that made it worse. Look, the bottom line is, if I was his boss, I would think, you know what, hey, Joe, that was probably a little out of bounds. Let's talk it through a little bit, right? And then I'd bring him into the office and we talk about it. If that's your real views, okay, then I would actually encourage him then to write an article about why he thinks that and lay out some evidence, right? And then that would be a valid, and maybe you bring the BYU Stanford story back into it, etc.
Yeah.
So I don't think a suspension is the right way to go. It's over the top. It's too much of a reaction. By the way, just so you have some context too, Geraldo Rivera, who works for Fox News, on Fox News, said that Mitt Romney seems like the kind of guy who wouldn't let a Latino into his house. So, and Fox News doesn't discipline Geraldo, but ironically.
Now, y'all saw the white guy in the middle, and you saw how fast Cenk Uygur turned. Oh, I don't think she made it racial. I find it funny that they saying, well, it's not racial. Didn't they just have a poll where they said Mitt Romney was basically, his campaign basically said, we're not going to bother talking to the black community. We're not going to address their issues. Didn't we just not see a primary where every last one of these Republicans said something insulting about the black community, Mitt Romney included? Don't Mitt Romney belong to a church that just 34 years ago, not 40, you dumb motherfucker, you, that just said that we can let blacks come in? Didn't when he went that famous video when he was with the black kids say, who let the dogs out? Who? Even my father, who's in his 60s like Mitt Romney, would have never done some dumb shit like that. See, I guess Cenk and that guy in the middle think that blacks don't watch politics. This is why I tell brothers and sisters, you need to start watching these shows. And everybody that claim to be liberal ain't liberal. Is a foolish coming out. He should never brought race in it. Wait a minute. Every last one of these Republicans have said something about welfare, have said something about lack of parents. Didn't he say, Mitt Romney said he didn't care about poor people? And who's get affected by poverty a little bit more unfairly? Blacks do. See, that's what I'm saying. These are not liberals. These are whites who are opportunists, or people of color who are opportunists. See, they don't want a black man to say anything. I've watched those commentators in Politico. I've read their commentaries. They're not neutral. But see, this is why I say black people, we should never left our black press. See, when Dr. King was assassinated and all the cities around the country was going up in flames, they was afraid to send white anchors and reporters or in our community. So they said, let's go get some black reporters. Get a few chosen niggas. And we've seen over the years what these brothers and sisters have done. They've slit our own throats. And when a brother get a little honest, and I'm going to tell you, Joe Williams, he's a little bit more honest than most. Because I've watched him ask questions, and he'll come out and say it. And that's what they're afraid of. Political cave. How you going to suspend a man when they ask his observation? And then people say, well, that's what reporters do. They give their observations, right or wrong. This is why I say that we need our own news programs. We have brothers and sisters that's why I was disappointed in Bob Johnson, Oprah Winfrey, and all these other black celebrities, or these black anchors that think that I'm going to work for CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, or C-SPAN, or Current, that they're going to be able to say what they want. No. All the racial crap that we're throwing in every day, and that's the opposite. I've even said it, and then he's gonna say he's not comfortable around white people. I guess they forgot Mitt Romney went up and stood next to Donald Trump. Hello, he stood next to Donald Trump, a man that has insulted the black community and our first black president. I guess they forgot about that. See, they tell you how crappy these so-called progressives and liberals are. Better yet, let me see if I pull up a picture. I'm gonna put this image, because since people seem more responsive to certain images, I'm gonna put the image of Donald Trump and Mitt Romney up so y'all can see it. Brother was spot on. He's not comfortable around blacks. If you can go buddy with this man who have said racist things, I mean, let me go down and do I need to go over with y'all again what Donald Trump has said? The blacks. Or when on the Celebrity Apprentice, when that brother was on there, and I forget his name, Randall, I forget the last name, Jervis, Randall, I think it's Randall Jervis or something like that. No, Rebecca Jarvis, I'm thinking about Rebecca. When he won, he asked the brother, can you share with the white woman? And when the brother basically said no, you should saw the facial expression of Donald Trump. Or what about when Donald Trump took ads out in the major New York newspapers accusing those young brothers of rape, calling them animals, saying they need to go be executed or go to jail for the rest of their life? What about the gentrification? What about the comments? What about him not hiring? See, it's a lot of stuff. But see, I'm not shocked, because Jink and his team have made comments about President Obama. When he was on MSNBC, he talked a lot of crap about President Obama, questioning his manhood. He talked about Reverend Sharpton when he didn't get his way around there. And they said, okay, fuck it, we'll get pro Reverend Sharpton because he's filled in. He started talking about Reverend Sharpton blackmail like he did everything else. And I'm sitting there like, motherfucker, you. You ain't nothing but a suntan away from me calling a black man, and you sitting up here want to talk shit. Then you got the white guy in the middle. If you watch that bastard, he says questionable shit all the time. But the ironic thing is a white woman sat up there and defended the brother because she was on point. You don't ask somebody to go on the show, opinion show, and give their opinion. If that's the case, that means MSNBC, CNN, and Fox need to tell people just come on, report what happened, that's it. And news would be extremely boring. He didn't lie. Brother was spot on. I guess they forgot this image. I guess they forgot the one where he said, who let the dogs out? Who? Ran around a bunch of black kids. I guess they forgot during the Republican debate how he was talking about welfare and black folk. Talking us like we were stupid. I'm telling you right now, whether they're Republican or Democrat, them motherfuckers stick together. And I'm going to tell you something. This is why I say that we as black folk got to quit lining ourselves with these people's causes. Because when we say something, they dismiss it. But then they like, you guys, you really going to vote for a Republican? You really going to do this? Like I was watching Bill Maher tonight, and he made a joke, and they keep making a joke. He got President Obama got the Latins and the young, and he pretty much got the black vote locked up. Oh, really? They mock us. They joke us like, you guys can't think for yourself. We know Republicans don't want us. And the only reason why, if they do want us, they want a certain type of black man, black woman who's going to defend them vigorously. But the Democrats don't want us. That's why they said they're going after the Latin vote. That's why they're going after the gay vote. That's why they're going after white women. That's why they're going after young white voters. They don't give a damn about the black community. How many years have Democrats supposed to have been representing us, and haven't our communities got worse? They're going to say the brother was way off. Wait a minute. I guess y'all forgot Donald Trump. I guess you forgot him going to meet Donald Trump, who's a birther. Didn't Donald Trump say, tell the president put down the basketball? Didn't he say the blacks? This make me go back to think about what Bill Clinton pulled back in the 90s with Sister Souljah. Sister Souljah did an interview. Bill Clinton took it out of context, and he used it to whack Reverend Jackson in the head to tell white folk, I got these niggas in check. Remember Hillary Clinton thought she had the black vote locked up? She talked about Dr. King, said Dr. King didn't do nothing but ran to Memphis on the 40th anniversary of his assassination. Remember Senator Edwards, when they was talking about, during the 08 campaign, he was talking about reparations, and him and Hillary and Gravel and Biden dismissed it. See, now I know some people going to say, that's why I don't vote. No. You make these motherfuckers work for you. You pay their salaries. But when the town hall comes, when election time come around, you supposed to make these motherfuckers work. This is why I don't like these fucking pundits. Here it is. Current just started because of Keith Olbermann. And people don't want to admit it. MSNBC, nobody really watched it. They watched it, but it was a small percentage. Keith Olbermann made MSNBC what it was. And when they didn't need him anymore, once Comcast came in and bought part of NBC out, they got rid of him. Al Gore, and I guess people forget what Al Gore and his wife Tipper did when they went after rap back in the 90s. Come on, Keith, you come over and you have free reign. You'll be the editor-in-chief. You'll be the executive director. Oh, he gets over there. What do they do to him? He was too honest. So they got rid of him. They got these hacks. You mean tell me if you're a liberal network and everybody say blacks are liberal or vote Democrat, where the black host at? You mean tell me you can find me not one black male, black woman to host? MSNBC, they don't have no blacks in prime time. Here's Reverend Sharpton show come on what? 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. They don't play his show, but they play everybody else's show. You serious? You see the pattern, right? Current. You mean Current don't have any black hosts? I mean, and they do have one host, Melissa Harris Perry. But she's on Saturday morning. Most people either sleep or they not political junkies, so they missed her show. But her show caters to women's rights, cold work, white women. I keep trying to tell y'all better start paying attention to these motherfuckers. I'm not saying don't vote. I'm not saying go run to the Republicans. I would never say that. But what I'm saying is that you guys need to be on your toes. I'm telling you, liberals are just as bad, if not worse, because they're very condescending. Brother gave his observation. His observation was spot on. Got a question. If Mitt Romney really wanted to get the black vote, because everybody black don't vote Democrat, and every black person ain't feeling Mr. Obama or the Democrats this time around. If they were smart, they would speak to our issues. But guess what? He's beholden to the Tea Party. See, I keep trying to tell everybody. We gonna get tired of people fucking us in the ass. I'm always gonna expose this shit because I'm tired of these people talking like we're stupid. Here it is. They figured, well, I went to college 2 years or 4 years, or I just looked out and got on TV and I know more about politics. All the shit that's going on in this country, brothers and sisters like you and I spoke about this, do speak about this. Brother gave a spot on opinion about Mitt Romney, and now everybody's saying he deserved to get suspended. This makes me think about when Roland got suspended. Didn't say shit about anybody gay, but they still threw him under the bus. This made me think about Shirley Sherrod. Didn't the Democrats throw her under the bus? Van Jones, Acorn. And then when you call them out on this shit, the first thing they say, well, Dr. King said. This is why we got to control our dollar. This is why we got to learn our history. I keep trying to tell y'all, if we don't do this shit, we always going to be at their mercy. Just because they get their token black on one of these shows don't mean they down with us. And bringing up Martin Bashir for a second. Martin Bashir basically lied on Michael Jackson. It was one of the reasons why that trial went to trial. And Brother Mike wasn't the same since, and he's on MSNBC. I want y'all to think about that. CNN, Don Lemon gets a show on the weekend, but as long as he diss black folk or disrespect the community, he's good to go. But he'll talk about gay issues. He'll sit there and talk open. I'm a gay man. The black community is the. You sitting there, you listening to this shit, and you say like, we just can't catch a break. This is why I don't like whites talking for me or other so-called ethnicities of color talking about me or talking for us or comparing our issues. Because you just saw that video what those two guys did. They took up for Mitt Romney. That's basically what they did. They did the same thing Politico did. Brothers and sisters, wake up. Vote up, vote down, leave your comments.